Welcome to Martini Time. Let me get my thing turned here a little bit. Well, it's snowing outside. And it's actually the first cold weather of the winter. All bundled up here. So, this morning I made a post, typed a post, or created a post that had a lot of legs. It was called, "I'm offended, therefore I exist." And this is a play off of Descartes, who was a French philosopher of the Enlightenment, who kind of set the framework for the modern science and the modern identity. You see, the identity of man changed after the Middle Ages and with the birth of the Enlightenment in the modern age. And that consciousness is kind of like based in thinking. I think, therefore I am, is what he said. And that's the way we feel in our modern society. I'm a thinker. You know, Rodin's statue, the thinker. I exist because I think. Well, that paradigm is changing, because if you meditate, you exist when you don't think. So all these Eastern traditions coming from the East are about transcending thinking, about not to make it go away, but not to be dominated by it, not to be on the treadmill of the monologue, thinking. I can't stop thinking. So this Descartes truth in our age has morphed into, I'm offended, therefore I exist. And just look at the social media. Social media is all about, you offend me, that offends me. Aren't you outraged? Aren't you offended? Outrage, anger, offense. You offend me. Your existence offends me. That's mostly what the memes about Obama are about. His existence offended people. Not what he did or said, his existence, you see. So, what does offense, why are we so offended? What does that mean, you see? Well, we have to just look at I look at Facebook, so you can learn a lot from Facebook, but just look at your own, be mindful of your own mind to see what goes on when you see something in the news and you're offended. And then you type it out, and then other people say, hey man, I'm offended too. And you create an offended group, and you rise up. We're offended, you see. So you feel powerful when you're offended. You got an enemy there, right there. That other guy, see what he said? That's the offense. That's the offender. He did it. We got to lynch him, string him up, defriend him. And then we all join in. We get a little choir going against that offender. And of course, he gets his group going. So now you got a little snow fight going, throwing snowballs back at each other. I'm offended. No, I'm offended. No, I'm offended. No, I'm offended. Well, whoa. Blow it up, you see. So once you get into an offended war, there's one on right now. It's a local Facebook, I say Southside Virginia. There's one going on right now. It's been going on for 3 days. You know, each one comes up with a new way to offend the other. It's endless. What is that? We need to look. We need to say, what the hell's going on? You know, because being offended is not a pleasant feeling. If you look at it, it is not contentment. You can't say I'm offended and I'm content in the same time. If you're content and you're offended, you lose your contentment. And now I'm angry. Why? Because I lost my contentment. Who did it? He did it. So there you go. You see? So when you're content, when you're at ease, you're on the front porch in the evening like they used to sit and watch the fireflies in the front yard at the end of the day. You didn't have to talk. Nobody had to say anything. Or maybe it's martini time. Maybe at the end of the day you have a drink and you're home and you go, you see. Say, I'm content, you see. There's no dragon when you're content. But as soon as you get offended, which means irritated, you see, irritated, I'm disturbed. Why am I disturbed? Because I lost my contentment. I lost my peace. Who did it? Well, he did it. She did it. It did it. The world did it. The taxes did it. The flat tire did it. The dog did it. Somebody did it, you see. And now the only way to get rid of the thorn that destroyed my peace is to get rid of that external thorn. So now I got to go to war against that and try and erase that offense, you see. But I can't do it. Like right now. So Trump started out his campaign by being offended by Obama. And so he declared war on this offense. I'm going to erase you. You see, so Obama's the offensive president. He offends me because of his nature, maybe. Whatever. But the point is, if you look at Trump's presidency, it's all been about erasing the offense of Obama from history. Everything he did tracks. Brush it away. See, it didn't even exist. I'm not offended anymore, he said. But here's the irony of it. If my identity, getting back to the, I'm offended, therefore I exist. So what is happening is that we don't feel our existence in our culture because we're images, like in Mad Men. We are images. We're like postage stamps. We're labels. We're images in our culture. And we've lost our ground of being. We've lost our ground in the earth. We're all separate from the earth. The earth, the national parks are being removed. They offend me. Remove them. Asphalt, everything. Walmarts everywhere. Shopping centers, housing developments everywhere, from horizon to horizon. So this whole, and if you look at our society, it's all billboards. It's image society, self-image. So there's a fundamental sense that I don't exist when you live in an image of yourself. And that image of yourself depends on other people liking that image. So when people like your image, well, I exist. If they don't like you, I'm kind of like, they don't think I exist. I don't feel, I want to be liked, so, I want to have ratings, I want to have likes, I want to exist, so I have to get people to notice me. And if noticing makes me feel that I exist, it basically doesn't care if you are noticed for being good or for bad, as long as you're noticed. But the point is, you don't exist unless you are irritated, unless you are aroused, unless you are stimulated, unless you're angry, you see. If you're content, it's kind of like flatline. And if you notice when you're really content and at peace with yourself, you're really not that much aware of yourself. But let somebody, you're walking out there in the park, you see, just at peace with everything around. You're not really thinking and looking at something and analyzing anything. And if somebody calls your name, hey, you, immediately you exist. You turn around. Somebody, and is it a friend or a foe, you see? And the me arises, you see. And you feel your existence now as a resistance, as being separate from the world. So we feel our existence when we feel separate. So being offended makes you feel separate. If you're just an amen choir, and a lot of the posts on Facebook are amen choirs, even hate choirs, where you post up a hate meme on Hillary or Obama or Trump or something, a hate meme, and everybody goes amen, 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 you see. And then one person says, which is usually me, It says, what do you mean by that? Or make a joke about it, and then all of the choir turns, whoa, and they come on you like a pack of dogs, you see. They love it, you see. Made them all exist. They made them be offended. So when we're offended, we really like it because we feel like we exist, and then we get angry, and that makes us feel powerful. Therefore, I am offended. I am offended. Therefore, I exist, is the American refrain. Thanks for dropping in.